All right. So again, welcome everyone. My name is Kelsey Howard. I'm the Assistant Director of International Admission here at DePaul University in Chicago. And I am joined today by 5 of our global ambassadors who are all current international students at DePaul doing their bachelor's degrees. So they are here today to answer any questions that you guys have about their experience at DePaul, questions about your experience soon at DePaul. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over and let them introduce themselves. So Dia, why don't you start us off?
Hi everyone, I'm Dia. I'm a senior and I'm studying marketing and economics with a minor in data science. I'm originally from Singapore.
Hi everyone, I'm Harshita and I'm from India. I am a sophomore majoring in data science.
Hi everyone, my name is Sophia. I'm a sophomore studying hospitality leadership with a minor in digital marketing, and I'm originally from Bogota, Colombia.
Hi everyone, I'm Bao. I'm from Vietnam, currently in my third year. My majors are a double major in public relation, advertising, and UX design.
Hi everyone, I'm Sharjeel. I'm from Pakistan. I'm majoring in management information systems with a minor in finance. And yeah, it's as hard as it sounds. And I am a sophomore right now, almost into my junior year.
So my first question for you guys is a really good one to get people started. What made you choose DePaul?
So when I was first making my university choice, I was either thinking about New York or Chicago, only the big cities, because I'm from Karachi, Pakistan. So like it's one of the biggest cities. So I wanted a big city so I could have like easy access to food, easy access to transport. And I'm not used to college towns. So I was like, yeah, I cannot do college towns. So I was looking for big cities, and then I found DePaul, and I went to the website, I researched a lot, and DePaul sounded the most promising. It was not that expensive as compared to like NYU. And it had like, I'm really happy here because like it had all the facilities that any other university would have. So I was like, okay, I get Chicago, I get the views, and I get a good university. That's all I wanted.
So when I was making my university decision, I chose DePaul because of its campus. I was like so much into the location where it is located, and I'm more of a like city person who loves exploring the city and then making new connections. And also while like looking for DePaul, what I found the most interesting thing is the courses and the majors that DePaul gives, because if you are like confused what major you have to do or like what minor, you can just like explore it. And also DePaul has a large amount of like communities and the organization that are specifically for the international students. So that was one of the main reason why I joined DePaul.
I had a similar reason to Sargil and Harshita, that I really liked Chicago. So DePaul was like a big contender because Chicago is such a diverse city that it helps you like adapt to its culture more. So I felt like that was a great aspect to look forward to moving from a new country, like getting to a city that could be a little bit easier to manage with public transport. And like just overall the city I felt like was the biggest determinant of me coming to DePaul.
I came to DePaul probably because of the major and the program that DePaul has. DePaul has really good program for public relation and advertising, media study in general. So that is one of the first reason why that I picked DePaul. The second reason why is probably the scholarship that DePaul gave me that helped me a lot with my journey. And lastly, the city views and the city opportunity.
I think for me, it was also the city. I definitely knew I wanted to like be in a big city. And then it was also the fact that Chicago has like the beach technically because you have Lake Michigan. So you get like the city life and you get a little bit of relaxation. And then like everyone said, like the DePaul's like programs are well known, especially in Chicago and the area. And then I also stalked DePaul alumni on LinkedIn, and I saw how they were doing compared to the other schools I was looking at, like the other alumni. And so that's why I decided to pick DePaul, because the alumni, they were doing better from my searching. Yeah.
It's always good to see that you're going to get get what you pay for, I guess, when it comes to an investment, right? All right, awesome. So I see a question's just come up. So the question is, was the transition to Chicago from your home country easy or difficult? And how was your first quarter of classes at DePaul? So let's take the first one. How was the transition for you guys?
I made friends pretty fast. I made my first 3 friends that I still hanging out with until these days. From literally the first day of school. Not even the first day of school. It was in the orientation day. And then the second group of friend I made was from the dorm. And then classes went on pretty fast. But I don't have a problem with my transitioning, considering how the friends group that I got to meet in DePaul is very friendly.
For me, to be honest, it was like kind of little difficult in the beginning. I came 10 days before the orientation starts, and then I was all alone here. I didn't even knew anyone. So because one of the reason is I was living off campus, so I have like a limited choice of like speaking with people. But the first 10 days were difficult for me. And if you guys like believe me, when I went to the day of orientation there, and I made a lot of new friends, and I'll say that the orientation went so well because they particularly like guided what international students, and specifically people who are vegetarian or non-vegetarian, they can go to the nearby places. If you're searching for Indian food or maybe the Pakistani food or like the Mexican, you can go to the such places, and they'll give you like the overall guide of like food and then housing and then nearby places which you have to visit.
For me, even orientation was like not a very smooth period. I found it really difficult to make friends or like talk to people, just because starting at a new school itself was already scary for me. And then starting in a new country was like a little scarier. So it took me like about I was friends with my roommate. That was great. Like I loved that I had a roommate, so that we were each other's like best friends, just hung out with each other for a while. But I think it took me about like more like after the first quarter, that's when like winter quarter started. That's when I started like making more friends and becoming more comfortable. So if it takes you a little longer, I think it's okay. You don't have to like lose hope, and just keep putting yourself out there. That's one thing that you came to college to like experience things. So just get yourself out of your comfort zone, and then you'll slowly make friends. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think something that's important to remember when you're doing this as an international student is that even all of the US students, it's new for them too. All of the new freshmen are going away from home for the first time. They're all meeting everyone else for the first time. Going to university classes for the first time. So it really is like one of the best times in your life to be new, because you're in the company of literally thousands of other people going through the same thing. So it's really a good time to be new because you're all going through it together.
I agree. I was about to say that everyone's new. It's not just you. So everyone's in the same boat, and people are actually looking for people to talk to. So if you see a group out there that are hanging out, don't feel shy to just go in there and talk to them. They are looking for friends. Everyone's looking for friends.
Yeah, I also lived on campus for my freshman year. I lived in Lincoln Park, and I chose Lincoln Park because I felt that it had the more traditional college dorm that you see that most universities have, rather than in the Loop that it's more of a city style. But like both are good either way. But the Lincoln Park campus was really nice to be close to because so many of the events were there, so it was easier. Like I remember the first night they had like a huge movie night in the quad, so it was like a few steps away and you could just go and watch movies with your roommate, like meet new people. So it was more of like a student activity and student life, getting freshmen integrated with each other. So I feel like that was a huge like plus living on campus, just getting to meet people and like hanging out with people occasionally. You could meet up with people to do homework, like, and just get to know people like more organically without having to go out of your way to like be on campus just to occasionally meet people. Like it was just more organic. So I feel like that was a huge benefit for me because I met so many of my friends on my floor and in my dorm.
Every night in the dorm was just so crazy. Every night you meet new people. Every night you visit different floors. The Lincoln Park campus was so accessible. If you want to study, you go to the library. It's always open, and you can go to the quad to hang out with people. And as I said, my roommates are my best friends. So if you love living with some people, you get close to them, then they turn out to be your closest friends.
The Lincoln Park campus has College of Educations, College of Liberal Arts. So if you have classes in education or in liberal arts or in science, you would probably have classes closer, mostly in Lincoln Park campus. However, there are classes in communications and business and digital arts that are in the loops, although classes one another between two campuses, but it's mostly separated. Since I major in public relation and advertising, so I decided to pick a campus downtown, which is closer to my classes. So again, that is something that I want to add is that your decision to pick which dorm you stay in is also going to be impacted by your major.
This is a really good transition, Bao, to the question that we had in the chat as well. Someone was asking how hard it is to get from one campus to the other for classes. So does anyone want to talk about commuting between Lincoln Park and the Loop, and then how that works?
Oh, it's really easy. It barely took me like 15 minutes. So I remember I had a class at 9:50 and another class at 10:20. And one was in Lincoln Park and one was in the Loop. So I got out of my class at 9:50 and I was easily there at like 10:10 or 10:15. So you just my class was next to the Fullerton station. You just take a train. It's like 5 or 6 stops away. It probably takes like 10 or 15 minutes. And then the train leaves you on campus in Loop.
Yeah, I think that's a very short break.
It's a very short,
classes.
right?
That's unusual, right? Also, just to clarify for everyone on the call, you get to choose when your classes are, for the most part. You do kind of are limited sometimes if there's only one section of something, but that's pretty rare. So you're usually able to choose, if you're a morning person, you can pick more classes that are earlier in the day, or if you really like to sleep in, you can try and put all your schedule in the second half of the day or in evening classes. So there is a lot of freedom in terms of building your schedule, and in terms of having to get from one campus to the other. Most of the time you don't have just half an hour between classes, like Sharjeel mentioned.
The only thing that I wanted to add is because I have experienced this personally. So whenever you are choosing your classes, make sure you have a gap of at least half an hour so that it will give you proper time to commute. Because most of the times, it won't be most of the times, but sometimes train will be delayed. So that won't give you much hurry, and you won't have to be nervous that you might miss your class or you might be late in the class. So just make sure you have that half an hour gap period between your classes.
Yeah, the worst part is coming to the station and the train has just left and you missed it, because then you have to wait. Usually the red line train that goes fastest between the two campuses, they run every 3 or 4 minutes, especially during busy times of the day. But sometimes in times when it's not that busy, you might have to wait 8 minutes, 10 minutes for another train to come. So yeah.
So for me, and I feel particularly for the CDM students, those who want to major in computer science or maybe data science or any other computing field, you don't have to have any prerequisites, but what I suggest is just meet with your faculty advisor. They'll give you the list of courses that you have to take, and also you have submitted your transcripts to DePaul before coming, so they have a pretty much idea of what you're going to take it. And also so when you are in your first quarter, they'll just give you the very light courses, and after that, if you have to take let's say the mathematics courses, they'll give you the one which is the basic. So You can't get rid of that. You have to do it in order to like pursue the higher one in that. So to be more specific, I will say that all the courses are provided by DePaul, and they'll give you all the chances, like, so you don't have to worry about prerequisites until you are in your sophomore or your junior year.
Yeah, I would like to add on to that. Every time when I need to choose my courses, I just set up an appointment with my academic advisor, and she just guides me through the courses I need to take. And if I'm not enrolled in those classes, then what other options do I have? I remember when I started, I had no such prerequisites. So everything is from scratch. There's no such thing that you need to do from your home country and then you need it here. So everything's from scratch, that I can assure.
I started off as undecided in business, and then I switched to finance, and then I went to marketing. Then I went to economics. Then I went to marketing. Then I added econ as like a double major. So you can keep like, yeah, you'll end up changing your major, talking to your advisor, talking to like faculty to try and figure out whether it's something that you're interested in. And like, so when you have learning domains, which is basically like general ed classes that you have to take, and then if you're in the business school, there's like a business core, and within the business core, you kind of have to take a class in every field. So you'll have to take an accounting class, marketing, finance. So it kind of gives you an insight into what that major is like. And then that helps you decide. And I think it's the same or similar with like the other schools and other, so yeah, that helps with like trying to figure out what kind of major you want to take, and then if you want to change your major if you don't like it.
Yeah, and actually, we always kind of joke, but it's true that undecided is the most popular major of incoming freshmen at DePaul, and I think that's true kind of nationwide because you know, when you're leaving high school and you're leaving home for the first time, you might not know yet what opportunities there are and what different subjects there are that you can choose to study. There's a lot of subjects at university that are offered that you haven't probably encountered in your schooling up until when you come to university. So a lot of students just choose to keep an open mind and come in undecided, or come in one major and change to something completely different. Usually when you change within the first half of your degree, you can still finish within 4 years. It might mean that you have to try and like take a little bit more classes in a term to try and catch up a little bit, depending on how different your new major is or how late you've chosen to change that. But it's usually doable. And we have academic advisors. Someone mentioned that earlier. You'll be assigned an academic advisor when you start that will help you every quarter in registering for your classes for the upcoming quarter. And if you decide you want to change your major or add another major or add a minor, they'll be the person to guide you with that and talk through how it will impact your plan to get to graduation.
For me, I changed my major recently, like the last quarter. I changed from computer science to data science. The only thing that I would like to add is before making a decision to change your major, just take like 1 or 2 core courses that you have to do it for the major, just to get the idea that if you are choosing the major, are you a better fit for that, or can you adjust with the course level and the difficulty that it has. And also, like, even though I changed last quarter, I'm completing it on time, and as Shurjil said, he's completing 1 quarter before. I'm also doing that because I'm taking 2 credit courses that will help you a lot in building your personality and then giving you more confidence, which I feel DePaul has I think 6 of those, and those will help you in getting internship and how you have to build your resume, how you have to build your profile, LinkedIn.
Our team in international admission will always be working with you, and we can be flexible depending on what's going on in your country. We realize that there are things outside of your control. But the one thing I will say is that your final high school exam results We do require them in order for you to register for your second quarter at DePaul, okay? Because we know that the timelines don't really always match up well with the US education system. We don't require that you have that final transcript to register for your first quarter, but you will need to get those final results to us before your second quarter registration, which typically won't happen until about October. Is when you'll be registering for the quarter that starts in January. So we can be flexible. We will work with you. You have time, and you can always just communicate with us directly via email if something changes. If it's a countrywide situation, we usually know about it. If exams are being delayed or canceled because of COVID and things like that. But you can always reach out to us directly if you are worried or you have questions. But if you're worried about, not doing as well on your exams or, being able to start your studies at DePaul, just contact us directly and we will work with you so that we can make sure everything is in order that you need to have.
I would also say to get to know your professors and really build that rapport, because when you need let's say recommendation letters or anything like that, you don't want to have to reach out to a professor that you spoke to once and doesn't even remember you. So you want to actually build relationships with your professor and your advisors so you can have that sort of support and that recommendation by other people, and really take advantage of the networking opportunities DePaul offers, because since DePaul is so centralized in Chicago, DePaul students are very known for being hard workers around the Chicago area. So it's very common for students to get jobs through networking with their professors, having recommendations from professionals in the industry. So I feel really building those connections, even with your professors and stuff, with higher people.
I think I'll say that these next 4 years, or if you end up graduating early, 3 years, is time for you to focus on yourself. So think about what you really want to achieve through college, what experiences you want to have, and then like everyone said, get out of your comfort zone, do those things so that you don't have any regrets. Yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us. It was really a pleasure to talk to you. If you have any further questions or follow up, all of our ambassadors are available on our direct chat platform on the website. You've probably all received emails directing you to use that. You've all met them now, so you can put a face with their names and send them messages if you have other questions. Otherwise, we all really hope to welcome you to Chicago in September. So thank you all and good luck. Have a great summer.